Leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll. Hit and miss. Now you counting stars. Should've practiced more. Should've hit the mask. Get out there more. Saying that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much. World come back sports. Talking way too much. World come back sports. Talking way too much. World come back sports.
Yo, shout out to the hottest. I mean, the hottest chat in the MF game. A-Side official, no negotiation needed, period. You already know WCS is back in the building. Carlos Rosado is the first on deck, man. I see you, Carlos. What's good with it? I see you. Salute. Our money in the building. Salute, man. And one love to you for the $2 super sticker on deck. I appreciate the support, man. You already know. Let's get down to it, man. I got to talk about last night fight card, which was heavy. I like the main card, especially because we had some hitters on there. You know, Abdullah Mason, Jesban Rodriguez, Brian Norman Jr., and David Benavidez. We had some hitters on there. Devin Haney, 2 division, now 3 division champion. Abdullah Mason, what, 21? They said 22. Youngest champ in the sport right now. He beat Sam Noakes. Jess Rodriguez stopped Puma. Man, come on, what can we say about this? Hell of a fight between Norman and freaking Haney. We know it was gonna be tough. David Benavidez and Anthony Yard turned out just the way I expected. But let's get to the required reading, man, via boxingscene.com. Abdullah Mason captures lightweight title in a stiff test from Sam Noakes. Man, shout out to the Mason clan, y'all. They seem to be doing everything right, structured, marching forward, keeping Abdullah Mason grounded. That's a solid family right there. I admire his father because of how he has been able to enforce. I don't want to use the word enforce. How he was able to provide sound structure and get the respect from his kids in such a combat sport as boxing. Just in life in general, they are very structured. If you look at them, they pray together, all that. Not every father that has sons can do that, you know? I mean, that takes a lot for your sons to respect you, and you all are Muslims, and you know, you walking in the faith and all that. People see you as positive representation in a sport that will chew you up and spit you out. But yesterday, Abdullah Mason showed that he already had what we knew he had, and that was grit, durability, toughness. You know what I'm saying? Tenaciousness. It said Abdullah Mason became the youngest world title holder in men's boxing today, capturing a vacant WBO lightweight title with the unanimous decision over Sam Noakes on Saturday in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The victory was clear, but it wasn't easy, says boxingscene.com. The score is 117-111, 115-113 from the other 2 judges. Reflected the back and forth battle the 21-year-old Mason was drawn into by the tough and tenacious Noakes. I am now boxing's youngest active world champion, Mason said afterwards. We got the win, but it was a tough fight. We're on to the next. See, I like to hear that, man. The fight began with Mason seeking to work from a distance and utilize his advantages in reach and hand speed. Noakes looked for opportunities for counters and also occasionally rushed inside, where he had some success touching Mason up with combinations. In the second round, Mason adjusted by jabbing from a distance and then moving, and he laced in a left hand from his southpaw stance as Noakes bulled forward. When Noakes got inside anyway, Mason tied up. About halfway through the round, Mason scored with a strong left cross and followed up with a few more blows. Noakes responded with a pair of good right hands of his own. Mason staggered Noakes in the third round with a good left uppercut. Noakes fired back, and Mason directed his own artillery toward Noakes' body to try to take the fight out of him. The real damage came soon from a clash of heads, which opened a bloody cut above Noakes' left eye. The wound would not have bearing on the outcome. Noakes continued to come forward, hoping his aggression and determination could overcome his disadvantages in speed and power. He would need to grind Mason down in a war of attrition, drag him into the inside battle or catch. Mason cleaned with the counter. It was the right approach. Noakes scored with a good right hand in the fifth, a reminder that Mason couldn't just assume that the fight was in the bag. I just wanted to read a little portion of that, not the entire article. But Mason, now 20-0, 17 knockouts, will remain a work in progress as a title holder. Understandable, given his age, and shoring up his defense should be a priority. Noakes, now 17-1, 15 KOs, was taking a big step after competing against lower level competition. Although his fight didn't end up the way the 28-year-old from England would have wanted it, he should remain in contention. The road back to second title shot shouldn't take too long. Now, notice how they said Noakes should remain in title contention. Noakes should remain in title contention, but yet they say he hasn't fought. He has fought lower level competition. Listen to what I'm saying. He has fought lower level competition. He loses to Abdullah Mason, but he should remain in title contention. And that's the same stance that I take with Brian Norman losing his belt to Devin Haney. Okay, I'm going to get to that. On the undercard, just before Mason and Noakes, middleweight Vito Melnicki scored a 9th round technical knockout over Sam Moma. Melnicki dropped Noma. They spelled the name different the second time they said, with a looping right hand and then left hook. Noma beat the count, but the referee waved things off before the bout. This was the first fight at 160 pounds for Melnicki, who improved to 22-1 and 13 knockouts. That's another fighter. Shout out to Vito Melnicki. The way they're moving him now since taking his first loss. Shout out to Abdullah Mason. He's been running the course. He's faced adversity. He's been to the canvas, university, and back with a certificate saying, hey, I did what I had to do once I got up on my feet. And now he's a world champion, the youngest in the game right now. Salute to him. All right. Salute to him. Bam Rodriguez. What can we say about Bam? Very, very consistent. Very, very consistent. Shout out to his team. Shout out to Bam for giving you action all the damn time. PerBoxingScene.com. Just Bam Rodriguez again showed why he's one of the best fighters in the sport with a dominant 10th round KO of Fernando Puma Martinez to add the WBA junior bantamweight title to the WBO and WBC straps. Bam is unified. You know what I'm saying? People were saying that Martinez was going to be his toughest test because he was talking that talk. They were just waiting for him to walk that walk. That's what they was waiting on. And Bam came in there and walked that walk. Believe me. Shout out to Toby, Mr. International in the building. What's good with it, Toby? BG in the building. I see you, man. Jay in the building. What's good with it, Jay? Bud Smoke Canelo in the building. Salute to you. It says boxing. Furthermore, it says, I thought he was going to get up, said Rodriguez. Had that been a tough opponent, after round 6 and 7, I knew it was over, but I didn't think I was going to knock him out. So I was just having fun. And it was, some of the commentary was saying how Bam Rodriguez loved to play with his food, but it was very entertaining to me because Bam was right there. Man, the way his step back uppercut, the way he was gauging distance, his timepiece for his combination, his barrage combination was on time, yo. That watch was on time, digital. We ain't talking about no analog, digital. Bam is exciting to watch. I wasn't looking for the knockout. I was forcing it. And I think that's what helped me out. It came natural. I was trying to land a punch the whole fight, and it finally landed, and he went down. I showed. I'm pound for pound one of the best. It just goes to show right now, I have nothing but respect for Puma and his team. There was a little animosity during the buildup, but that's part of the sport. It made the fight more interesting. It all works out in the end. As for what comes next, there's only one man who the 23-0 16 knockouts Texan won, the IBF belt holder, Wilibardo Garcia, who is the final hurdle in Rodriguez's quest to win all 4 major titles at 115 pounds. There's one more fight before I'm undisputed. Hopefully we can get that next. Hey, salute to Bam Rodriguez, one of my favorite fighters, yo. Salute to him. I like how he goes out there and insert the game plan. Very, very strategical, technically sound. I mean, it's not much more to say except Bam does all the conversation with his hands. Forget ASL. We're talking about sliding some gloves on it and signing that. The way he signed his opponents with those combinations, his accuracy, and then his toughness. He's been on the canvas, but he took some shots last night from Martinez. He did. I was impressed with Abdullah Mason and Jess Rodriguez. For Abdullah Mason to step up to the plate the way he did in a vacant title shot, it tells you everything you need to know about the shakeup of 135 pounds. You got Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Davis. Come on, man. Now you have Abdullah Mason. I mean, that division right now is hot. That division is hot, yo. But not hotter than 147 pounds. Yeah, 147 pounds went down. Shout out to ATL's own Brian Norman Jr. He went up there. He was the champion. Devin Haney was a challenger. And yes, I did put it out there to speak it into existence that, Norman would stop Devin. Hey, it's boxing at the end of the day. Just like I said earlier, there's some fighters who can lose, and those boxing voices that's out there will still place that fighter in a position as to where they should just see them go right next into a title shot again. But I'm talking about active fighters, not the Manny Pacquiao, aura that has been trying to, soak itself into boxing, bleed itself over to boxing recently. But we're talking about youthful or young active fighters who was champions and they take a loss. It happens in the sport. Brian Norman got outworked and outclassed. Period. Haney, that was the best fight I ever seen him fight. It was an ugly fight. People may get mad at what he did in the second half of the fight, but that's boxing at the end of the day. You may want Haney to stop holding on to the fighter that you're going for. I say, stop holding him, man. Goddamn, he come in for a competition, stop. But that's boxing at the end of the day. I understand that. A lot of other people understand it. But now the same people who wasn't saying anything prior to the fight, they wasn't saying nothing. Why? Because they knew it was a tough fight. After seeing that Sasaki and Santion knockout, they was up here saying, oh, I heard y'all on X. I heard y'all on these panels. Oh, Norman, this is going to be a tough fight. It's going to be a tough fight, for Haney and all that. Now the fight is over with. And you have all these haters that's telling me what happened, what's going on. I'm not training him in the gym. I support the hometown fighter. I got respect for his toughness, his grit, no quit attitude, composure. I like all that. As a champion, he represented himself very, very well. Excellent. But with boxing, it comes down to the wins and losses, man. It comes down to, what your game plan is. What do you think you can go in there and execute? What is the mission? What's the end game at the end of the day? Can you make what? ADJUST in this case, I was cross-threaded, but MENT. How are you ADJUSTING adjusting to what's going on in the ring? Devin Haney's jab, crucial. I was impressed. He always had a jab now, but Devin Haney's size, his speed, when popping that jab out there and that counter right hand, that shit was on point. That shit was on target. I was looking for Norman to land another one of those power shots that he landed early in the fight. But you know what I seen? I said it's going to be tough for him to do that because he's not setting up the left hook with a jab. He's not changing angles or anything like that. He's just right there in front of Devin to say, okay, I'm going to wait to wait. Yeah, you're going to feint. I'm going to try to get your rhythm down. And then when you do throw a jab, I'm going to try to come with a counter shot. You can call it a pull counter. You can. It's several times where he caught Norman's freaking left hook, and he didn't counter with it. He just blocked it. So it really didn't have no effect. I will have to say the Haneys did an excellent job with preparing for Norman. They did an excellent job. Haney was on point yesterday. He gets all the credit in the world. He was on point the first half of the fight. The second half of the fight was a lot of holding and shit, but that has nothing to do with who took home the belt. Clearly, WCS has nothing to say about who clearly won that fight. Haney clearly won that fight. All Norman has to do is go back to the drawing board. He's youthful. He's a young warrior. Go back to the drawing board like a lot of fighters do, and go back in for another title shot. That's all he has to do. Now that he understands he's been in there with the elite, undefeated. I mean, not undefeated. He's undefeated, but undisputed at 135. A two-division champion heading into that fight. And he's been over to Australia twice. That's experience. That's experience. I'm not a highly favored of Devin Haney, but nor am I going to sit up here and under critique him with bias based off what I seen yesterday. He looked like a grown ass man in that fight. That 147-pound looked good for Devin Haney. I'm not gonna lie, the way he filled out his muscle, his physique, his conditioning, his speed with that conditioning, it got a little sloppy on the backside. On the back end of the fight, they're gonna have to work on that. But he did enough to put the rounds away for the scorecards to clearly be in his favor. Norman is okay. He took his first loss of his career. He's going to be okay. He's going to be able to come back and, of course, go back and talk to the team, come back and see what it is. I'm not here to mediate for those individuals that want to do what they always love to do in boxing. And that is come for the people or whoever they feel that's an easy target to say, hey, what happened? What happened? What happened? But see, I understand why they do that, because a lot of these cats don't have favorite fighters in their hometown anyway. They don't have champion fighters in their hometown. Georgia has always had a fragmentation of support for their fighters. That's just the way it's been for a long time. The boxing commission down here in Georgia is extremely tough. It's a tough boxing commission. It would be good. This outside the OTX is doing a great job. It would be good to have some big fights like Tank, Shakur Stevenson gave us. It'll be great to do that on the consistency, but it's just not going to happen, yo. It's not going to happen. So when Brian Norman takes his first loss, You know, people already saying he was this, that, and the other, but that's typical boxing banter. Whether it's positive or negative, that's typical boxing banter. Boxing has the worst combat sports fans in combat sports. Period. A lot of these that's hating on freaking Norman is the same ones that was Errol Spence fans. They was Errol Spence fans. You may not be able to tie in that dynamic, but a lot of these desperate so-called Haney fans that wanted to dog out Brian Norman was simply doing it off. Who can I, who has more stability when I balance this out? You know, what are the pros and cons I can pick from the left and the right side on who I want to go with? Who's the favorite? Man, I done seen Haney get dogged. I done seen him get support. I done seen him get dogged again. And they say he was this, that, and the other, and he gets support. When Ryan Garcia did what he did, oh, you should have heard him, yo. You should have heard him before the test came back. You should have heard them talking ill. But now all of a sudden, they're nice and snuggly. They want to get their Care Bear freaking blanket. Oh, let me go and cuddle up next to Devin Haney and his victory. He don't need you. He don't need you, man. I always said Bill is conditioned for the YouTube streets. He's been out here long before a lot of other fathers even decided to come out here. Bill been in the game. I don't agree with, a lot of stuff he says, and I'm not trying to be his friend. But the game plan they came up with yesterday should be respected. It was thorough. It worked out very, very efficacious to the outcome, goddammit. And there's nothing else I can say about it. Devin looked good. He held the weight good for 147 pounds with his power. When he scored the knockdown on Norman, timing beats power, yo. Timing beats power. When he timed that early in the fight and he wobbled Norman, I'll say, damn, this ain't looking good. This ain't looking good for us. That was a well-timed shot. Perfect. Damn. That was a perfect shot. It's boxing, bro. That was a perfect shot. Salute the team Haney, yo. You know what I'm saying? And salute the team Norman. Y'all came up with a plan. It just wasn't a plan that was able to lead y'all towards victory. But I know y'all will be back. Shout out to Georgia Boxing Stand Up. And we would definitely see Norman back in the ring sometime in the future. As for Haney, I'm looking forward to see what he do next at the welterweight division. I want to see who's going to fight who at the welterweight division. Is it possible for a rematch between him and Norman Jr.? Or, because you got to remember, Norman did go the distance. Or will they just say, we want to send Norman to another sanctioning body for another title shot? That has happened. We've seen it with Gary Antoine Russell. So don't act like it cannot happen for freaking Norman. Gary Antoine Russell took a loss. Those of you that's hating out there, forget WCS can talk boxing whenever I feel like it. There's boxers out there that took a loss and was shifted into the next sanctioning body, and they was able to get another title shot. Matias, you know what I'm saying? Matias, Mr. Osterine himself, he was able to go over there and get another title shot. Or is it just some type of divisional, you know what I'm saying? A divisional, what's the word I'm looking for? A divisional fan club or something that they put their own votes in. I mean, that was happening a lot at 140. Look at Rolly coming up, getting into the position. Look at Rolly coming back, and getting a title shot with Ryan Garcia. I mean, come on. Just because somebody get one loss, don't pick and choose who you want to favor now. Don't pick and choose who you want to favor. Teofimo Lopez took one loss and then went up to 140, had a couple of fights, and then faced Josh Taylor and ended up winning. There's been plenty of fighters who took a loss. Jamel Charlo to Tony Harrison, came back in a rematch, got his title, and went on to be undisputed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I would mention Triple G, but I'm gonna leave that alone. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna leave that alone. But Canelo Alvarez, we can even say, even though he didn't lose his titles 168, he still took a L and went on to continue to do things until he ran into Bud Crawford. And then you can look at the heavyweight division, how all that played out. It's different for every fighter. So a fighter takes one loss doesn't mean you attempt to expunge them from the ranking systems all from one freaking loss. That's just not the way it's supposed to work, right? They should be able to give that former world champion another shot at the title. Moving on, David Benavidez, Anthony Yarde. That turned out pretty much the way I figured. I mean, Anthony Yarde is a lion at the end of the day. Dude will fight to the death. He got heart, man. Yo, Yarde got heart. But Benavidez, he has the syringe. He has the antidote. David Benavidez, he thrives off a different type of an adrenaline. His blood pressure is different. His killer instinct is extremely high. When he started busting up Anthony Yarde with the fighting style that he has, we all knew that fight wasn't going to go the distance. We were just trying to figure out when the referee or the corner was going to throw in the towel. Yarde was able to touch Benavidez with some nice counter rights. But you can only do that so much, man, off the ropes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we just seen Erickson Lubin. He attempted to do something to that similarity against Virgil Ortiz, but it didn't work. He got crushed. Anthony Yarde was able to survive for a little bit until Benavidez start, processing the data, getting the rhythm and motion down from Yarde and really crushing him. One thing about Benavidez, his shots to the body is ick. The way he punches to the body and up top through the guard, Pepto Bismol. Then you need a goddamn shot glass. 16 shots of Pepto Bismol. My stomach's hurting. Oh, why? Because Benavidez is crushing this dude to the gut, crushing him to the ribs. Shout out to Benavidez, man. He went in there and did what he's supposed to do. Man. You can't say anything but he did what he was supposed to do. And being that Yarde had already been in attendance for a title previously, Benavidez stopped him in 7. Artur Beterbiev stopped him in 8, y'all. Stopped him in the 8th round. Sergey Kovalev stopped Yarde in the 11th round with a jab. So Benavidez said, I got bragging rights. I did it better than all the other two that's supposed to have been the man, Beterbiev and Kovalev. I did it better than them. I stopped him in the 7th. He got a point. So what's next for Yarde? I don't know. He sits at 27 victories, 4 defeats. 3 of those coming by way of stoppage. Those 4 defeats. Hosting 24 by way of knockout. Okay. Benavidez, man. I like Benavidez, man. I don't want to sound cliche, but I like his fighting style. And I feel that he's very entertaining and he should get more respect than he gets. He should get more respect. I don't know why people don't give David Benavidez his respect, but he just put the word out there, y'all. SOS. Read all about it. Breaking. Hearts are aching. 31-0, 25 hosted knockouts. Benavidez is moving up to face my guy, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez at cruiserweight. Eesh. KO percentage 80.65. That's what he said. He's moving up for a third division to face a tough, rangy, multi-division champion, Gilberto Ramirez, a.k.a. Zurdo. It's going to be a hell of a freaking fight, man. That's going to be a hell of a fight. And if I'm looking at it right now, I like Ramirez. I'm not sure how he's going to be able to handle that pressure over time for 12 rounds. But he's shown he has toughness too, man. Like when we seen him in there against Dimitri Bivol, he was getting lit up like a 4th of July. Like he is stumbling on a demolition goddamn training course. Dimitri Bivol was lighting his ass up. But anyway, he only has one loss, and we know that's to Dimitri Bivol. But he won a unanimous decision, 10 round against Joe Smith Jr. And then he has some Chris Billum Smith, he went the distance, and Dorticos, 12th round UD. So this is going to be interesting. His KO percentage is 62.5 to Benavidez 80%. Southpaw, right? Against Orthodox and Benavidez. Look forward to that fight. Salute to both fighters. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Yard, who showed as much durability as he could from the 28-year-old Benavidez, but he just couldn't stay in there and take that punishment. He was swiping at his nose, and I don't know if his nose is broken, but Benavidez, he was dropping them hammers. It's almost like it was a freaking construction show, a home building show. For real. It was almost like they was giving you a one-on-one instruction on how to break a nose and build it back up at the same time. I'm serious. Shout out to the Mexican Monster, yo. He did his thing. I'm not going to lie to you. The Mexican Monster did his MFing thing. So those of you out there that support David Benavidez, I'll tell you this, man, rock with him, man. David Benavidez is no joke, man. Come on. David Benavidez deserves more freaking respect than he gets. Big Blunts and Boxing in the building. What's good? Carlos said, I wasn't expecting that from Devin last night, but all credit to him. He has a very good game plan. Be normal, going to be fine. Just dust off, get back up. Yeah, that's what boxing's all about, man. I wasn't expecting him to be as strong as he was, but his size, they rehydrated real nice for Devin Haney. And I think Devin in this weight class or even 154 is going to be just fine. I think. He's going to be just fine. All the clinching on the inside, it's boxing at the end of the day. If it's legal and you're clinching and hitting with your free hand, that's what you're supposed to do. That's another discrepancy I saw with Norman. He wasn't really boxing on the inside in the clinch like he should have. Devin was taking advantage of that every chance he get, you know? BG say, I tried to tell you. Yeah, man, you was right on that. But look, I have no contentiousness. You know, I don't have anything like to say, well, I know BG was going for Canelo. I mean, going for Devin Haney all this time. You're right. You got it right. Real talk. Devin looked good in there, man. Devin looked good in there. He was technically more proficient. The strategy was a lot more conducive to the outcome. You know, Brian Norman ended up wearing the fight from Devin Haney. Who would have thought a fighter who said to have no power? And I was one of them. And he went in there, and that speed, that timing, crucial. It was just crucial, man. Bam did his thing last night, and Abdullah beat his opponent down late. Yeah, for sure. Two entertaining fighters, man. Two entertaining fighters. It's easy. It's easy for people to, look, these same people then say nothing leading up to the fight. Then hit me in the DM, then say shit. A couple of them hit me up and say, hey man, why we haven't heard you out here talking about the fight card and stuff? I get it. I mean, they know I can talk boxing. I just been taking care of, other stuff, man. I just took some time and come back here and there. Look, this is not like college for me. Like I don't get a diploma. I do it for the hottest chat in the MF and game. I try to make, my attendance relevant periodically. You know what I'm saying? But, people go through little subtle changes and take care of things in life, especially at my age that I'm reminded of, right? Toby says, salute WCS and the hottest chat in the YTC. We're global, baby. We're global. Yes, indeed. Glad to hear you, see your comment, Toby, in the chat, man. Good to see you doing better, big dog. Mason better stay away from Keyshawn. I don't know when you say better stay away. We have to see that fight. We have to see because they got to come up with a sturdy, solid game plan that's going to render the results that they want. And we all know what those results are, to go in there and look good. Make everything look like it was supposed to happen that way. Execute the game plan. That's what they want. It's going to come from Team Keyshawn and Abdullah. I hope they fight. But, from what I was hearing, that Keyshawn might be going up to 140. Who knows? I don't know, man. Shout out to Keyshawn. I know they signed with Jay Prince and all them. I just don't know what he got going on, man. He's everywhere, just like Tank Davis. I don't know what they got going on anymore. We have to see. Salute, great fight last night. B&J came up short from some lose, some hold your champ. Yeah, hold your head up. Like I said, his composure the whole fight week, he was locked in. He just didn't have enough technical skills at that point in time to make adjustments to turn and take back the momentum, disrupt Devin Haney's rhythm. He wasn't able to gain back, some consistent rounds that keep the fight card close, or even, earn a knockdown. But he'll be back, man. He's only 24 years old, right? He'll be back. I hope they give him another title shot like they did, at 140 to certain people that lost. They gave him maybe one fight and then get him back into a title shot. You saw that. You saw that several times down at 140. You saw that several times. Damn right. I was you either in or you not. Lost a couple of dollars, but I'm here not ducking or hiding. Yes, it's a lot of us that, betting on the fights. Yeah, Bam is the truth, man. Bam is the truth. Shout out to the boxing queen, man. Jessica in the building. The lovely Jessica. I like how you changed that up for sure. Thanks for dropping in. I'm seeing you in a minute, but your attendance is duly noted. Salute to you. And hey, if I try to say I'm gonna be on periodically, throughout the week or whatever. But I want to wish the hottest chat in the MF and game that nobody can touch, and no other chat's the same. A happy holiday, an enjoyable Thanksgiving. I hope everybody is able to get with whoever. I would say family, but everybody don't get along with family on the holiday. I just hope y'all have someplace to go, enjoy it, however you choose to enjoy it, yo. I hope it works out for you. Happy holidays. May God bless you all, and everybody return safely. I'm not gonna get no drinking and driving speech, none of that. Yeah, the fight card was fire. The fight card was fire. Fire with some gasoline, some accelerant, some all and some other stuff to go along with it. And what made it that way was that, just talking about the main card. The main card was hot. I mean, you had Dula Mason and Martinez going back and forth. Bam Rodriguez. I mean, what I'm talking about. Abdullah Mason, Sam Noakes going back and forth. Just Bam Rodriguez going back and forth with Martinez. Norman and Haney going back and forth. The early controversy, adversity, I should say, of Norman being knocked down. And Devin is like over him saying, yeah, I'm him. I'm here today. I'm him. I'm the better fighter. No fighter wants to be in that position where a fighter just knock you down and they come over closer to get one of those moments that people are going to be putting on their thumbnails. You know what I'm saying? That meme moment. And Norman had a nice one of the most viral ones when he knocked out Santillan. That was brutal. But when you get to a certain level, you got to ask yourself, some of these fighters, were they cutting weight that was keeping them back? The way that physical fitness works today and strength and conditioning, is it individuals out there that can take a fighter who has been duly noted to have very minimal power and just work on speed? With speed is going to come with power, right? Work on timing, right? Time. And I think Devin had solid timing with his jab, man. That shit was punctual. His jab was punctual. And then that counter, that shit was laser, dog. That laser counter was, it was laser. When it hit the target, Norman's head popped back. I was like, that's Devin? But then I look at his frame and I say, he's wearing that freaking 147 division nice. I don't care what he rehydrated up to. Because Senior said Norman was at like 160. Devin had to be a little bit over that. But naturally, to me, Devin might have stayed at 135 just a bit long because he was dried the hell out. But they still rehydrated up and went in there and got the fight over with Kambosos. And then when he went up there and he weighed all that weight against Regis, this was pretty much what Regis got too. He was just too quick for Regis. Now he's went up here and fought a fighter and Norman Jr., who's a champion. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be a champion again. Devin proved that his experience proved everything. It was on full display. Draw the curtains. He put it on full display. And also, I appreciate the freaking professionalism and courtesy. That shit is cliche. I like trash talking myself. I like trash talk. But Norman said, I'm not going to badmouth him. He gave me a shot at the title. Devin, to me, in that fight, man, it's the first fight where he just seemed like he was coming to himself, a person that used to not be on social media a lot. He just used to be taking pictures all the time. He's came into his own. He's gotten older. That's just what I seen, bro. Like, he wasn't disrespectful or anything. Norman still went over there and gave people, the opposite team, show sportsmanship. But Devin didn't sit up here and talk trash yet. You have to basically wager when they had the meeting, the face-to-face, and the altercation went down. And what happened in that altercation to the fight? And then you have to look at Conor Benn sitting ringside. What are they planning on doing with him? 147 pounds is hot. Conor Benn coming off that Eubank win. I don't care what people say about being weight drained. You signed the contract. Man, come on, bro. I'm eager to see what Norman Jr. gonna fight next. Conor Benn gonna fight next. Devin Haney's gonna fight next. Mario Barrios. I want to see who's gonna fight next. Who's gonna fight who next? Because it got some hot names up there. 147. Real talk. Yeah, Fundora and Rolly did too. Yeah, for sure. You know, Rolly Romero, I know I didn't mention him at 147, and it's a reason for that. I'm just not convinced that he's who he is against Ryan Garcia. You know, I would like to see Brian Norman face Rolly Romero. I think stylistically that'll be a good matchup. It's not going to be a lot of moving from Rolly Romero. There's going to be a lot of power shots thrown. I think that's a good time for Rolly to get knocked out. Seriously, real talk. I think that's a good fight for Norman to rebound and get another championship fight with Rolly Romero's belt. Why not? Rolly Romero of all champions can't say shit, because when he was stopped by Gervonta Davis at 140, he was right there in the driver's seat for a championship title. So he can't say nothing about Norman. He can't say nothing. The way he was in the ropes, like he was trying to audition for a script of Charlotte Webb 2025. If anybody was back there then, oh, Charlotte Webb, yeah, I want to introduce. That mug was all dangling in the ropes like it was a web and shit, like he was a spider, looking all goofy. Yeah, keep your head up, big dog. Bob Arum and Frank Warren have a special relationship with the WBO. They can get fighters, title shots from nowhere. Yeah, man. That is the role players and how they are shakers and movers, how they navigate the waters. They're different. That's been boxing for a long time. Benavidez finally got a stoppage. He lit Yard up, absolutely. Several times. Several times. Yard hasn't fought anyone between his title shots to learn anything. Tunde should let Frank pick his fights better and not interfere. Hey man, I don't know what the loyalty meter is between him and Tunde, but I know when I spoke to him in freaking New York, they was on different sheets of music. Yardy and Tunde. I talked to both of them. So if he's there to still talk, you know, I mean, communicate and have Tunde around as a coach, and I don't know if he's locked in some contract. I don't know, bro. I don't know where the loyalty is with Tunde. He needs to switch up that dude, bro. It's not that. Look, it's not that he can't box. But did you see the back on Yard? He need to stay out the weight room. Did you see the back? Now you gain a lot of power from working the back. You do. The back, man, them lats and everything, it does a lot. But Yard, all that muscle to Benavidez physique, I don't think I had my microscope up there too. I was standing way from afar. I said, let me see, can I see a muscle in Benavidez's body? For real. I even pulled out my camera and took the long range lens and zoomed that bitch. I said, I know I can see some. Where's a deltoid? Huh? I know Benavidez got to have a deltoid somewhere. Where's one abdominal pocket? Where? Abdominal belly. Where is it? I couldn't see it. But Yard was all bulked up and muscular. He got beat down. Yo. What's going on, Wolfhound? Salute. Butiaev should face Charlo. Abdullah Mason versus Gervonta. Keyshawn versus Devin. Gervonta versus Keyshawn. And Devin Haney versus Stantionis. Devin Haney versus Stantionis. That last one, I need to find a nice size, palm size eraser and erase that off. Devin Haney versus Stantionis. Look, Devin Haney, yeah, he just won a title, but that's not his first title. So, in my opinion, if he ain't fighting Rolly Romero, which I believe is the easiest outside of Mario Barrios, you know, I mean, what does Stantionis have to do? Listen, if you're gonna say that Stantionis deserve a shot, well, tell the haters out there that you understand that just because you get one loss on your record, you should be able to attend another title shot, just like Stantionis losing the boots. He should be able to attend another title shot, right? Wolfhound said Stantionis should fight Devin. A former champion at 147. The same should be for Norman. Put him back in there with a champion. I would like to say him and Rolly. That would be a damn good, perfect matchup. They're going to be two-time undisputed. I mean, look, he going to be undisputed. I would definitely appreciate seeing it because his fight that he had with Ramirez in Times Square wasn't what he had with Norman. That fight he had yesterday was absolutely entertaining. Speed, accuracy, all that. But you know what old boy said about Charlo and all that, Abdullah Mason or Javante versus Keyshawn, I'd definitely like to see that. I'd definitely like to see those. Hell yeah, no doubt. Look, proving you can be a star and proving you can be a champion is different. There are champions out here that's not stars. We totally get that. We totally understand that. There's champions out here that's not stars. We understand that Stantione's had a belt since I just mentioned his name, and he wasn't a big star. He wasn't a big star, yo. I'm just saying. Matias was a champion, but was he a big star? Alberto Puello was a champion. Was he a big star? Liam Paro, he's a champion. Was he a big star? Richardson Hitchens, he's a champion, but is he a big star? Teofimo Lopez was a bigger star than all these guys until whatever he had in his system and all his thought process, and he started breaking down and shit and personal shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it would have been good to have a rematch clause. Yeah. What's going on? Pound for pound. What's good? What's good? What's going on, Ronald? How you feeling, bro? What's good with you? Andrew Charles in the building. What's good? Conor Ben and Eddie Hearn are the haters of the year. They spent about 20 minutes straight crapping on Devin on live TV after he won. I was like, damn, that's what they supposed to do to get the fight. Because, you know, Bill Haney's like, hey, that'll be a good fight. You know, with the momentum that Conor Ben has coming off Eubanks win, you know, the rubber match, nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about that, bro. But that's what Eddie does. Eddie's always hating on somebody. Tunde must be his daddy. What person have to do with proving defense? Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game, man. One love, salute to everybody who pulled up. I got to bounce. Until next time, another time and a place, we'll do it.